Welcome everyone to Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and today is my 100th video. For everyone that's been here and subscribed and stayed along, I'd like to say thank you. And it's business as usual, though. It's vinyl records, and I did a video recently, kind of a while back, about stoner rock, kind of prog rock of the 70s, kind of psychedelic stuff, where I showcased two bands, Captain Beyond and Lord Baltimore. And so, I have a bunch of these kind of albums and stuff, and then I'm going through, and so I want to share another band. And so I'm just going to call this Stoner Psych Space Prog Vinyl, because there's so many bands that kind of fall into this kind of thing, even up till now. There are bands that are still doing this kind of music in one form or another. And so today's band is no exception. It's from 1968. We got the band Gun. Now, they got two albums. I'm going to go through both albums, 68 and 69. This is their debut, and it's comprised of Paul Curtis, plays bass, brother Adrian Curtis, guitar, vocals, and drummer Louis Farrell, and power trio. And so this band came out of the UK, and they had a big hit with the song Race with the Devil. And that's on this album, first track. And it was a top 10 single, and it was very popular. I mean, Jimi Hendrix at the Isle of Wight, while playing that 22-minute version of Machine Gun, he kind of goes through that riff at the end, and they all start jamming on it. The song was covered by Judas Priests for their Sin After Sin album. It didn't make the album, but it's on the expanded edition, only on CD. They have a cover of that song, Race with the Devil, which is really good. Hopefully one day they'll re-release it and have a vinyl pressing of that song, but for now, you could find it on there, on the CD edition, or you could find it on Spotify. So this version here of this album here, hasn't been re-released. This is out of print, and this was originally on Epic Records. Has the old orange label there, and it's called The Gun, which is weird, And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 tracks, and so this is pretty much kind of heavy rock is what they're calling it, but there's some psychedelic stuff on here. I mean, that's just kind of jam oriented. The sad saga of the boy and the bee, which is the second track, is kind of a unique, weird kind of song with violins intertwined with riff rock, and Yellow Cab Man is a cool song. There's a fuzz tone guitar on there, very heavily fuzzed, something that we won't see later on until like the late 80s with bands like Mudhoney, with big muff, super fuzz kind of stuff. Rupert's Travels is an instrumental song. So they do, I mean, I always think if you're a prog band, you got to do instrumental stuff, you know what I mean? And these guys do instrumental stuff on this album and the second album. But the big song on here is Take Off, which is the last song, which is 11 minutes. And it goes through all kinds of different directions, and even has a drum solo in the middle of it. And that became like something a lot of bands would do. Even Hendrix did that in Electric Ladyland album. He did that on 1983. A Merman I Should Turn Out to Be. There's a drum solo, but that Mitch Mitchell does. And later on became like in the early 70s. The Deep Purple does it on The Mule. Of course, John Bonham does it on Moby Dick, Sabbath, Rat Salad, Cream, The Toad. It's all these animals, right? But yeah, and then later on, I think the Melvins kind of made fun of it, but they do a song like that later on called Cow, where they start off with a riff, and then Dale just goes on a drum solo. So that was kind of like, I think they were trying to make fun of it or something. I don't know, but I mean, these guys were innovators in a sense, but they've just been forgotten. And then their second album, Gunsight, which is really cool. This came out in '69, and they were going for more. There's more acoustic stuff on here. The song Situation Vacant, it kind of sounds like what, you know, back to Deep Purple, what they were doing on the Fireball album with the Mule. Kind of stuff like that. And Dreams and Screams is pretty much like what that first album had, that 11-minute song, Takeoff. They're kind of still doing that kind of stuff here, but they're bringing in different kinds of music on top of that. They have this song called Hobo, which is sort of like the band, you know, because the band was pretty, they were pretty popular around this time. They, you know, they did the songs, you know, The Weight and everything like that, and their first two albums were, you know, very popular, and kind of Dylan was going through that kind of old country or ragtime kind of music, you know, and so they kind of blend that in here. But the instrumental tracks, which is called, one of them is called Lady Link Part 1 and Lady Link Part 2, which they're like 2-minute songs. They sound like there's flamenco, and it sounds like something you hear on the Kill Bill soundtrack or in the movie, you know. It's really cool. And so they were kind of getting away from the psychedelic heavy rock, but it's still there on, you know, certain songs while they're pushing new directions, which is cool. And it's too bad that after that they were gone, you know. So this one actually has been reissued, because I seen a copy of it, but it's going for like $57 or something like that on Amazon. But this one, yeah, this one's an original one. I hunted down online for it, and this first album I got here in Vegas at Moondog Records. So if you're ever in Vegas and, you know, if you want to find something that, you know, because I was just like looking for this, and I was like, I went on a mission to find this, and I went into that record store, and lo and behold, Moondog has it. So go to, if you're ever in Vegas, stop by Moondog Records, and, you know, if you're trying to find something that, you know, you don't think you won't see anymore, you'll be surprised, because it was really cool to like go into a record store going, I want to, hopefully I'll find this record, and there it was. So that is my Stoner Psych Space Prog vinyl for today. So it's these two guys, Gun. You know, check them out if you can. Listen to them on Spotify. You know, it's some good shit, you know. So, you know, like I said, you know, there's going to be more of this, because I, you know, have some more of this kind of music, and I just want to share it with you guys. So, like, comment below, what do you think of this stuff? What do you think of this space prog, you know, psych rock? Is it just like passe, it's bullshit, or just like, you know, so there's a market for this? I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll come back. But comment below and subscribe if you still haven't, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.